Hey everybody, welcome back to a new episode of Clone Evolution. Let's hope the game works. Yay! Now I've been trying to do a little bit more changes here and there and it's not going so smoothly, but so far so good. Well, not really, this is the second attempt. Now what I was having issues was I couldn't exit the game, so I had to look up what the shortcut key is to exit the fucking game. Found out it's F11, so that's pretty good news. So, hope everyone had a good weekend. What is it? Today is Monday now, I believe. Can't check. Now, today is my first day to start doing weed and booze again, but I haven't yet because I was feeling a little bit under the weather. Go figure. And I've kind of wanted to wait till I at least felt good in order to do it, so maybe later tonight. Now, I was kind of disappointed too that I had one more project that I wanted to do during Sober October, but that book I ordered didn't arrive in time. So maybe it's for the best. Maybe I just wasn't ready yet, wasn't time. I tried turning the game volume down a little bit because I noticed it was rather high. I don't know if you guys hated the high volume or liked it, just let me know in the chat. I didn't even really notice when I was listening to the recordings, it sounded like it still was normal, so maybe it's too low now. I like to have some of the game effects on, but not so loud that it drowns out my talking. Nah, sorry guys, I got into a little bit of debates with some show viewers about the politics in the chat. It is good for the YouTube chat algorithm because it shows a lot of interaction and helps pump the videos to get more views, but I don't know, I don't want to be giving people a hard time sounding like I'm totally pro-Trump or anything. There's lots of stuff about Trump I don't like. The one thing that really pissed me off about Trump the most, I should probably clarify, is how he makes fun of people with dementia. I was like, man, me and my whole family have pretty much had dementia issues, so when he starts ripping on people for that, it kind of pisses me off. I kind of like, hey, Trump, let's go into the boxing ring, right? See who has dementia by the end of it. Now, it doesn't really take too many blows to the head before you start getting symptoms of dementia. It sucks. So it's not really a nice thing to make people fun of, right? Yeah, but the one thing I guess for people that do like Trump is, in hindsight, it's like when you pick a leader, would you want a nice guy to lead you, or would you want some jackass to lead you? In like the fairy tale world where everything's peachy, obviously you'd want to pick a nice guy. Sort of like Justin Trudeau, he's a real nice guy. But in the actual real world, it's like normally nice guys get taken advantage of. And when it comes to trade and all that stuff, Justin Trudeau has led our country off a cliff. Because all the mean leaders just take advantage of him because he's too nice. So I guess if you want a nice leader and you want your country to get taken advantage of, then yeah, then choose for the nice guy. And for Biden's defense and fracking too. I was making fun of Biden because he plans on bankrupting the entire US by eliminating fracking from their economy. Like he's anti-fracking. I was looking up how many jobs was it, something like 8 million jobs or something that are all related to frackers, so 5% of the US economy, which I wonder if it's even more than that, but yeah, but Biden is right in a way. The fracking that the US is taking out of the ground is the oil that's lubricating all of the plates. You know how when things slide, you need lube? So technically, I don't know what's going to happen with that. Like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure science is still at like guessing phase too. Like, we really don't know if taking out all the lube is going to make it stop earthquakes, or does it mean that the earthquake will be worse, just less frequently? So I don't know, like Biden could be right about that one. But then there's the whole thing too. It's like, what do you want to do? Stop problems that are affecting us right now? Or take steps to stop problems that could affect us like hundreds of generations from now? That's kind of like what Trudeau, our leader, Justin in Canada is doing. He's doubling our heating bills this year so that we can pay more in the carbon tax. During a fucking ice age nonetheless, but yeah, Gizmo won. I can't believe that still rubs me the wrong way. I fucking swear to God I bet on Gizmo. I bet on him every time. How come all of a sudden I didn't? Probably that dementia kicking in. Not to make fun of dementia. I'm only allowed to make fun of the one I have. Yeah, so the people that are pro and against fracking, I can see both sides of that argument pretty clearly. Wow, that's a lot of coins they give. And really, people that want to vote for Biden are voting for good intentions. And good intentions are always admirable. The only problem I have with good intentions is they also pave the road to hell, right? So you have to be very wary of good intentions. 9 times out of 10, they lead to a fucking disaster. But who knows? Maybe the US needs a disaster and it could end up improving things in the long run. Like, you know, no pain, no gain. And I don't want to get into too much politics. I figured I would just begin the show catching up with the viewers. Hopefully not everyone's so pissed about me being like talking politics. For me, I'm only talking politics a little bit more because it's the election any day now. Or I guess it's already begun. Some people can start voting earlier. What is it, the mail-in voting? Some of my friends that are avid Trump haters are going on about how Trump's rigging the election. And then I have people that are Biden or Trump supporters are going on about how Biden's rigging the election. Or rigging. It's kind of funny. Each side is like so conspiratorial. The other one's cheating to win. Maybe they are cheating. Fucking cheats. I hate cheaters. Like when Khabib cheated to win his last fight. He didn't make weight and then they allowed him to weigh in without the scale stopping moving. So I don't know why the UFC was helping him cheat, but that was pretty fucked up. And his fighting style is very dependent on like holding people on the ground. What the hell's going on? Consume chips. What the fuck are they talking about? Now what I was doing was I played some of the dungeon mission while you guys were gone and I beat quite a few. Why is it picking this? Is this a glitch or what the fuck's going on? I picked sweep. How? Your chip bag has already been full. Please consume some chips before sweeping. Oh, that's what it means. I have too many chips. I get it. So I literally have to level up some of these things because I have too many. Yeah, you can tell I was beating quite a few levels, right? It sucks because, man, I wanted to get on with the show today. Now they're forcing me to do this chip stuff again. Oh wait, do I have 8? Yeah. Alright, let's give this a try. Come on, dodge. Yeah. That's what I like to see. Ooh, yeah. Alright, let's do these. We'll save these because there's no point. I'd like to use all gold so that it has a chance of actually going up. Failure! Story of my life. I like failure. At least I'm comfortable with that. Now, and sorry guys if I seem a little bit down in the dumps this week too. I've got some bad news family-wise. Some serious shit happened with the lockdown to my family this year and it's not good. So, going to go say goodbye to some family members for the last time. It's going to make me really sad, so hopefully I can sort of pull through it. No, who knows? Maybe they'll prove the doctors wrong and live longer. Wouldn't be the first time doctors are wrong, right? Now I'm hoping they outlive me. No, it's not even my Uncle Pete. It's someone else. And I don't want to name too many names because I'm sure they don't want their information spread out all over YouTube. I've already said too much. Yeah, so if anyone's wondering, this is how you advance chips. Maybe there's some viewers who haven't seen it yet. I would use the gold ones, but like I said, I want to save it until I have a full row of gold ones, so there's a better chance of increasing it. Now it's my birthday coming up soon, so the family members wanted to get together for that. It's kind of sad to have to say goodbye for my birthday, but hey. Hopefully I'll see them again. And really no one lives forever, right? So, I don't know, I always look at the old Bible story that talks about the universe simulation stuff, and how that the God, the Creator, and everyone that lives in heaven is actually on a different time scale than we are. And what is it, that we age 1,000 days for every one day that someone's in heaven. So technically, if people are waiting for you when they die in heaven, you show up the next day, no matter how long you live for. Say your grandparent or grandfather or something died, and you're like, oh, he's gonna be sad because he's gonna have to wait in heaven for you to get there. But technically it doesn't work that way with the time scale thing, because for them it'll only seem like one day is passed in heaven and 1,000 years will pass on the earth. So all your relatives will literally come to see you in heaven the next day. So that's kind of a nice thing, one advantage to being in heaven, right? You don't have to miss the relatives that are still alive, because you'll see them the next day. Or maybe you miss them for one day or whatever. If heaven's even true, but I like to think that it is. It's one of those bets where if you bet that your heaven's real, you can win. But if you bet that it's wrong, you lose every time. So why would you take a bet that you can only lose on? It'd be like at the casino, they'd be like, you can place bids everywhere, but there's one spot if you bet, you'll lose every time. That's kind of like what not believing in heaven is like. It's like you're placing that bet on losing every time. Sure, you might be right, but is it really that good of a bet? Alright, so I don't know, this is going pretty good. Did I get everyone's dodge chip up to gold? I believe I did, right? Alright, she doesn't need targeting. God, he's got a lot of useless chips he doesn't need. Defense, yeah, he could use that. Now, what I always found interesting about that ratio of days is that's the exact same ratio that we do for video games like SimCity and stuff. Is we speed it up so we don't, as the creator, we don't have to wait for this society to evolve day by day. We can make them speed up like even weeks, months, years faster than us. Sometimes in like SimCity, you could speed them up 1,000 years, right? So it'd be like 1,000 days or 1,000 years for every day that we live here on the Earth. So that's what I was thinking. If a creator really did make the Earth, wouldn't he set it up like that? So the Earth would speed up its evolution. He wouldn't have to wait and wait for us to get bigger and better. I don't know if anyone likes the universe simulation. One of my friends on YouTube, Jim Elvidge, he's like the author for the best book of that, most modern book for it. I heard there was other books about it, but they're a little bit older books. And Jim has a background in science, so he approaches it like a scientific way of looking at it, not just a woo-woo fairy tale type approach. Not that there's anything wrong with fairy tales. Some of them I like. Now in that book he talks about lots of other cool evidence for the universe simulation. One of the main ones is the one Joe Rogan likes to bring up all the time. He's like, if there's a chance, which there is, that we keep making video games and holodecks and things more and more and better, eventually we'll be able to create a universe simulation indistinguishable from what we're living in. So then you have to ask yourself, are we the first people that have ever reached that level of technology? Or wouldn't it be more likely that it's already happened? It's sort of like if you believe there's more advanced life forms in the universe somewhere. If they are more advanced than us, then they've already created a universe simulation. And if they did that already, what are the odds that we're in it? And then you look at the Earth too, just how we have all these people here, and It's a big mystery of how we got here. No one really knows. Sure, there's the evolution model, but it's got more holes than Swiss cheese. So it's not really the greatest theory if you're looking for science-wise. And everyone's wondering what the meaning of life is. It's like almost like it's set up like an open-ended multiplayer video game, right? Not to make fun of the universe, that it's just a video game and that we should like jump off a cliff because it's funny, but really this is still the only game in town, right? So we gotta treat it seriously. I try to keep it serious, but I don't know, for my life I've seen so many weird shit happen where it almost like reinforces universe simulation idea more and more. It could just be bias because I'm looking for evidence for it. Now, one time I thought I found perfect evidence for it when I was driving on the highway on a bus trip to, was it Windsor? City near Detroit, where we used to be able to go to casinos. And when the bus stopped at the truck stop, we went in and I waited I was looking at a bunch of different restaurants. And one of the ones I wanted, KFC, was closed. So I was like, ah, fuck, KFC's closed. Wish it was open. And as I was saying that, other people around were like, yeah, we miss KFC, and so we wish it was open too. And we were talking how much we love chicken and stuff. And then I came back on the same bus trip the next day, and we stopped at the same truck stop, and I went inside and I was like, well, I'm going to check if KFC is open today. And it turned out not only was it not open, but there was no KFC in the truck stop. I was like, what the fuck? Is this like the universe simulation and it fucked up? I'm like, there should be a KFC in this truck stop. And then I came back years later and went on the same trip again. So this time I was really looking for it to see if what's going on. Was that KFC there or not? And then what I found out is the truck stop actually had two truck stops that were identical right next to each other on the highway. So it was really just up to which one the bus driver wanted to pick. And they looked identical from the outside. It was like the same one back to back. The only difference is one had a KFC and the other didn't. So I was thinking there was just one truck stop there. So that was my mistake. I was looking for a bias and turned out I was wrong. Thank God. I was hoping the universe simulation wouldn't be that easy to prove. That would take all the fun out of it. Now and then the holodeck in Star Trek, I always looked at that too. I was like, man, will we be the first to invent a holodeck, or has someone else already done it and we're in one? Right, now let's see if I can sweep. Oh, I know what I should do. I should level up the actual chips. That's probably what'll help burn through a lot of it too. I haven't been leveling up the chips, so I really should do that. There you go, I was gonna say. There's no way it's already maxed. I'm gonna try leveling up everyone's dodge abilities. Just to raise the shit out of dodge. Alright, 14, that's good. Now today, guys, what my plan is to do more of the whatchamacallit, the pumpkin battles. Holy shit, she needs some more dodge, eh? It's funny, because she's already really good at dodging. Yeah, his dodge is already pretty good. Oh, I see what he needs. More health. More defense. It's funny when you don't use these chips for a long time, they actually build up to reach a maximum. I never even knew that. People are probably laughing that I probably should be upgrading these chips all the time, but I get lazy. I don't know, I like to only do the stuff for the game, for the action parts, for the show, and leveling up these chips isn't the greatest action. So sorry guys, I'll try to do more of that later. Alright, was that everyone's chips? Yeah. I don't know, I keep saying these chips are at the max, so it's like, I thought they could go red. Maybe if anyone wants to put in the chat, how do you make them go red? Or maybe that's something else. Yeah, I noticed Trump's been a little bit weak lately, so I'll boost him up. I'm going to try upgrading some of my gold heroes past 130, or can they go past 130? I keep running into battles where people have them way over 130. Like, what the fuck? How is everyone doing that? I thought 130 was the cap. Alright, let's level them up and then we'll go into that battle. Now, I believe I have enough to level up this guy. Oh, there, he's there too. Holy shit, do I got a lot of blues. I got the blues. Now, I've actually been pretty good. I don't know, just around that full moon, I started getting really down in the dumps. And it was really puzzling me, because I was like, what the fuck? Nothing bad's happened. Why all of a sudden am I feeling like shit? Normally it has to be like a breakup with a girl or something, or... I don't know, it's just feeling like crap. Yeah, but nothing happened. I was like, if anything, it was a pretty good day, so I was like, what the fuck? Why am I feeling like shit? Let's try leveling up Jane Austen, will she? No, she's like reached the max, right? I don't get it. I'm missing something, guys. If someone wants to inform me, how do I... Maybe it has to be over 5 stars and then they can level up? Maybe if you get to 6 stars, that unlocks the ability to level up more. That could be it, right? No, people are giving me the ice. Or the advice. The ice. Yeah, Suki was giving me some more advice. She was talking about, what is that guy, Tengu, and his DNA, and how I have to get someone to add in the DNA, and it'll make it way better. Like, it'll enable him to hit more people at the same time. So I was like, holy shit, that looks really good. I can hardly wait till I unlock that. Yeah, I'm so glad I got the couch problem figured out. I don't know if I told you guys the solution. Instead of bitching about it, I'm like, man, I'm going to try my old green screen sheet. Just lay it down there and see if that would fix it, and it did. Didn't really fix the camera, but it just made it so that it doesn't show up on the screen anymore, because the green screen's a drastically different color, so it blocks it out easier. So that's what we gotta do in life, right? Instead of bitching about problems, find solutions. It's the manly way of dealing with things. I know, as much as I just want to yell at them. No! Yelling just hardly ever works. Hardly. Ooh, that was a pretty good one. Alright, let's go into the guild and get some action done there. Yeah, she said to check the guild mail. Is there really already a new limited event? I thought that wasn't coming up for a few days. Maybe she's giving us a heads up because she's seen it on her server, or her other server. Alright, so let's do it. Let's do the guild, and then we'll do some Halloween battles after. Level 4 million and no reds? Oh, 1 red. It's gonna say, what the fuck? Holy shit, that's a hard team to beat. That's an impossible team to beat. There we go, that's more my level. Still too strong for me, but I'll give it a try and see if we can pull off a miracle. Yeah, everything looks good. I did boost up some dodge abilities, so maybe that'll help, right? Maybe. Famous last words. Now, I shouldn't make fun of Biden too much. Maybe he'll get elected and pull off a miracle. Or maybe Biden will be elected and get kicked out of his position because of those email scandals or whatever, laptop scandal. Someone also step up to replace Biden and he'll be a really good leader. So it's like the Chinese farmer. Anything could really happen, right? God, why is it wrong every time? I'm trying to reach over here. There we go. It's like I give it old karate chop and it vanishes. Ni hao. Ni hao ma. Now I'm sure gotta improve my vocabulary in Chinese. I don't know how much 1 or 2 words is gonna impress anyone. Shishi. Yeah, these political debates are getting so intense. It's like I was almost thinking of defriending some of my friends on Facebook over it. And I'm like, wait a minute, it's just fucking politics. It's like, God, it's gonna be over in like a few days. Who even gives a shit? I guess the advantage to Biden winning is we won't have any riots because right-wingers always follow the rules and listen to police. But if Trump wins, dear God, we're gonna have like fucking all hell breaking loose, all the criminals going crazy and burning shit to the ground. Or maybe not. Maybe they'll just take the loss in stride. I'm kind of sick about hearing people bitch about Trump too. It's like, dear God, every president's been a piece of shit. Like, really? Has there been one that was ever good? Oh yeah, that was the one thing. Someone was telling me how great Obama was or whatever, and I was like, man, it's not a good time to tell a Canadian that Obama's good. Because in Canada, we just had the worst disaster ever from the lockdown, where all of our seniors died in record numbers. We're almost top in the world for the absolute worst casualties in seniors in the entire world from the way our Prime Minister handled the lockdowns. So when Obama came on the news and told Canada that, or told everyone that he was proud of how Canada fucking did during the lockdown, I'm like, you're proud that you fucking killed almost all of our seniors? Like, you fucking prick. Like, how does someone have the nerve to go on the news and say that? It's like, oh, I'm proud that all your people got fucking slaughtered. It's like, what, you fucker? But just to be fair, it's like, if he didn't say that and I didn't hate him as much before that, but holy fuck, man, that rubbed me the wrong way. To go on TV bragging how you're happy that our fucking people died. It'd be like going up to a funeral and being going, hey, I'm glad that this person's dead. Whoever killed them did a great job. I don't know, maybe it didn't make it on the news that Canada's lockdown was that bad of a disaster, so maybe Obama really didn't know that it was a complete failure. It was like epic proportions. The military had to be called in because the seniors, when they came in, they found out that the workers didn't show up because the workers had to stay home and look after their kids because the lockdown all of a sudden ended all the daycare. So they couldn't just leave babies and kids home to themselves, so they had to leave the seniors. And then the lockdown forced the parents of those seniors to not be allowed to visit their parents. So literally the senior homes are just empty and all the seniors were left to die in their own feces and didn't get any of their medications. The military had to get called in to do it after like thousands of them died. It was like one of the worst situations in the whole globe. So I was like, man, like to go have the nerve to say that whoever was in charge did it right. Hopefully he just didn't know, right? No, I like Obama's speeches, like his "Yes, we can" and how he's always saying that like people should try harder to do stuff. I just really can't agree with this healthcare plan too, because where I live, I know that our socialized medicine was great for about 10 years, and then it got so out of control, corruption, that it raised our healthcare prices to the highest in the world and worst level of care, to the point where 50,000 people from my province have to go to the US every year just to get good healthcare because we can't get it here anymore. We got socialism hellhole. So not to make fun of other socialist countries, calling them a hellhole, it's like my country is the same way now, so it's not anything that I'm thinking I'm superior to or something. It's like people are trying to escape my country to go to the US too now. Now when they closed the border, I was like, holy shit, there's like 50,000 people that can't get health care now. Yeah, what a nightmare. But hopefully this is all going to be over soon, guys, and well, the golden age is just around the corner. Speaking of, guess what arrived today? My pot plant trimmer, or weed trimmer. So I was like, shit, or bud trimmer, that's it. So right after I finished, like not a few days to spare. So I'm not to cry a river over it. I'm just going to have to make sure I grow some more weed next year and I can use it. Excuse me. Now I noticed the same thing with a lot of people that on my Facebook list that say they like Biden. I keep like asking like, what do you like about Biden? And then it's always they hate Trump so much that they want to elect Biden. I'm like, well, is that really a reason to elect someone? Just because you hate his opposition that much? It's like, shouldn't you actually look into who you're voting for to see if he has any policies that are better? Not that you just dislike someone personally. Like, don't get me wrong, Trump is the biggest jackass I think I've ever heard, but do you want a nice guy running your country? That's the question you should be asking. And what do I get out of it? That's every time I go and vote, I'm always like, what's in it for me? That's the main reason Trudeau or Justin got my vote, is he was going to legalize weed. I'm like, that's the only platform promise I even care about. So if the other guy wanted to get elected, that's all he would have had to say is, I'm going to legalize weed. Then I would have gave him my vote, but he wouldn't, so Justin Trudeau was the only one who was giving me something. I know it's a bit selfish way to vote, but hey, when it comes to voting, I'm fucking selfish. Someone said, hey, I'll give anyone who votes me $10,000. I'd be like, alright, I'm voting for him. As long as it helps me. Me. Oh, did I have bad luck today? I was going to try sending someone some Bitcoin because I'm like, hey, I can show you how sending Bitcoin works. I was going to send them some. Then I found out that I didn't have enough Bitcoin to even cover the deposit fee. or what is it, the withdrawal fee for sending it, transaction fee or whatever. And in the process, I accidentally hit the change my fucking wallet ID number. So now I made all those videos with my wallet ID number and I had to go and change them all manually. I was like, oh my god, what a fucking nightmare that was. But I fixed it in like 20 minutes. Now the other video, I fucking put the thing right in the video, so I had to fucking blur it out because I don't want people donating to the wrong fucking Bitcoin address. What a fucking shit show. I might actually just re-record that video and put in the new fucking Bitcoin wallet ID. I can't believe I fucking changed it. I didn't know you could change it, and I was just hitting every button to see which one it was that was going to help me send the Bitcoin. And I was on the whole fucking wrong menu. God, so annoying. Now I can't believe how high the transaction fees are for sending Bitcoin to each other. What did it work out to be, like $5 or something? I was like, holy fuck, just to send someone some money? Now I think my immune system is finally kicking in stronger, or I wasn't really sick. But today I had a fever, sore throat, and what else symptoms was? Oh yeah, the weakness, body aches. Yeah, my uncle's lips were all turning blue. I'm like, ah, fuck. Feels like the virus symptoms again. But then the symptoms only lasted about, I don't know, half a day. And then I already feel like $1 million again. So I was like, okay, well, whatever that was gone quick. Maybe I wasn't even sick and I was just hallucinating it. I don't know. And my uncle's lips do turn blue occasionally, so... The only other thing I was thinking is my one roommate was saying she had a really bad sore stomach, so I was like, what the fuck? Hopefully it isn't it. Would just go for the test, but I don't trust the government's testing. If they want to be able to give us a test we can do at home and check out the results ourselves, without them finding out, sure. But I do not trust giving the government any information at this point. They're as corrupt as fucking bleed. They'll fucking ban you from a whole bunch of shit just finding out that you've been sick once. Now, not to mention these test kits are coming back with the 50% false rate. So I'm like, 50%? At that point, you might as well just guess if you have it or not. It's like you have a 50-50 chance of being right or wrong already. Even the test kit doesn't know. That's why I kind of laugh on Joe Rogan's show. He's always like, oh, I tested my guests and they came back negative. I'm like, well, what's the accuracy of those, Joe? Did you do like 10 tests and find out if they all came back negative? Now, Joe Rogan's pretty smart about a lot of things, but I know some things he's, well, obviously not the smartest. No one's a perfectionist about everything. Well, not anymore. In the olden days, they used to be. The polymath trait was really big in the old days. Back in my day, we used to buy drugs from gangs. No, back in the old days, it's like you had to have skills in everything if you wanted to be considered smart. So you'd have to be good in science, you'd have to be good in phys ed, you'd have to be good in health, you had to be a good doctor. These days, people just specialize in one thing, right? They'll be like, oh, I'm a doctor. Or someone will be like, oh, I'm a mixed martial artist. It's very rare that you find someone who's actually everything still. Although there was a few boxers like that, right? The Klitschko's. The one was a doctor and a boxer. So it's like you could hurt people and heal them. Now, it's very good to become knowledgeable in medicine, to be a good fighter, because once you learn all the organs and how they work, that's when you learn how to target things and how to hurt them the baddest. Like if you ever happen to be in a legal mixed martial arts fight, and you're punching someone in the face or the head, and they just don't take damage, then you try hitting them in the back of the ear, that's when all of a sudden they might have a weak equilibrium point. That was like Fedor Emelianenko. He used to never lose fights because people would always punch him in the face or the forehead. And then finally one person realized, hey, maybe I should try hitting him in the ear. Fucking knocked him out in one shot. So everyone's got their weak point. For some people it's the liver, some people it's the kidneys. That's why a left hand strike from a right hand fighter to the body is the most effective. Is if you can hit him in the, what is it, the liver? And it's like your left hand shot, if you hit him just below the rib cage, that's where you can hit him in the liver, and I'll fucking just stun him so that he'll be collapsing right to the ground for at least 30 seconds. And then if someone has a good defense for that, then they might have the weak kidney spots. So then you can hit him in the back, and, well, not the back, but on the sides of the back, sort of. So it's not technically a legal shot. Alright, let's get a quick message from the sponsor while this loads. Today's anatomy episode was brought to you by Crack! Crack! It'll fuck you up. Woo! Welcome back, everyone. The fight has just begun. Now let's skip this because, man, I want to get some more action in. Alright, managed to wipe their ass. Kick their ass. Alright, these guild instance things, they're so boring. I'll just do one next time. Let's do some action in the pumpkin shit. Pumpkin shit is my specialty. Now, someone was telling me in the chat about the clone evolution, about clicking boxes to make the chances of getting A higher. I was like, well, what do you think I'm clicking? There only is these boxes. Oh yeah, and they were calling them boxes, and I was wondering what he meant, and I'm like, oh, you mean the presents? I mean, it's technically the presents aren't a box, I'm just a little slow. Little. That's a good one. Oh, I've got the tiredness kicking in. I think the sugar's wearing off from my milkshake. It's funny, I call them milkshakes, but I don't actually add any milk to them. I just put in, or ice cream. I just put in a banana, an apple, or whatever fruit I have around. My diet was very low on fruit, and I was getting bleeding gums from low vitamin C. So I was like, man, I really need to increase my fruit intake, so I started doing the blending thing, and I used to hate eating fruit, and it's like now I don't mind it at all, because I can just drink it. It tastes delicious. Now I love fruit. I don't know what it was about eating fruit. Oh yeah, it always gave me bleeding gums when I was eating it. That was the thing. So isn't it funny, the thing that I was getting from not eating enough fruit was what was causing me to stop eating it. What a complicated web I weave. Now I'm getting hyped. They said on the weekend that we might get some warm weather. So if we get the warm weather, I'm going to do that next vlogging outside. I might record a couple episodes worth just because I know the fucking cold weather's coming, and I'll have plenty of time to edit on my off days when I can't go outside and do anything because it's too fucking cold. Alright, let's do this quick. Finishing quick is my specialty. So I'll try skipping the battles. Oh, come on, A. Fuck, jinxed it, C. A, B, C, delicious. Oh, another A. Ah, fucker. It's gonna be C. Ah, you son of a C. Son of a C word. Aren't we all? Or I guess some could be daughters of one. Or both. Don't want to forget the transgenders. I gotta stop making fun of trans vendor stuff. Gender, not vendor. Trans vendor. I'm a trans vendor. I sell everything. Now, I remember back in the day when I was a kid, it was almost unheard of that any trans people actually existed in real life. Maybe there were schools and they just never made it public sort of thing, but I don't know, as I got older I started to realize that it's an actual real thing, right? We got beyond dating sites and trannies would be on the site and I was like, whoa, this is weird. I never really thought they were real. But it's like a way more common than it used to be. So it's kind of like making fun of leprechauns and stuff, right? Like, I made fun of them because I didn't think they were ever real. But then if I found out leprechauns were real, I'd be like, oh fuck, here I've been making fun of the leprechauns this whole time. What a jackass. Not to compare trans people to leprechauns. No, it was even my one buddy from Montreal. He was saying that one of his cousins, I think, is trans. And I was even talking to some people about that, and they didn't even know the details. They're like, this one guy I was telling, he's like, yeah, he didn't even know that trans people were real. He thought it was like operations that made them trans. I was like, no, it's like some people are actually born that way. He's like, isn't it a surgery that makes them that way? I was like, no, they're actually born that way. He's like, what? Is that really possible? So there's a lot of education that's needed, and I think that's where a lot of the insults come from, is people actually don't even know at this point. It's such a new thing. Well, it's probably not new to younger generations, but to anyone over the age of 40, they probably didn't know any trans people as they were growing up, so this whole idea that they're actually a real thing is like news to them. They're like, holy fuck, there's actual real trans people. Right, let's skip this shit. Come on, wake up, man. Sugar crash, fuck. That's one thing about eating lots of fruit, right? It's a lot of sugar still. The only thing I was thinking, it's not really like breaking my sugar addiction, or because it's actual natural sugar, so I'm not really adding any extra sugar. I was even tempted to. I'm like, hey, maybe I should pour some sugar in the blender. I'm like, what the fuck am I thinking? It's like, there's already so much sugar in here, why the hell would I add more? Man, I haven't beaten a single A battle yet. How lame is this? Super lame. Oh, 3 Bs. This will be a good test to see if I can actually beat a B. I don't think I will because I died on the last A battle. Fucking A battles. Fucking A. Excuse me. And you know, so one thing that's getting to me too is when I was going to do some weed today, I was like, man, I like smoking weed with other people. And when I was already addicted to weed, it didn't seem like so unordinary just to smoke it alone. But now I'm like, I don't know, now that I'm not addicted to it and there's no one else to smoke it with to enjoy it, it's like, it just doesn't seem pointful. I guess it is a lot of peer pressure that is what makes me smoke weed. I never even realized it. Well, I guess I did to a certain degree, because when I hang around with people that don't smoke weed, it's like I had no problem not smoking it. But as soon as I get together with the guys from work or my old job and everyone's getting hammered, it's a different story, because then I want it. I want to be join the crowd. Yeah, so maybe if anyone's battling addictions, one of the keys, not to offer medical advice, but it couldn't hurt, try hanging out with a whole bunch of sober people. Then eventually reach the point where you just start emulating that behavior of the people around you. It's kind of like the low income housing thing. I don't like to make fun of low income housing because I know a lot of people get into a situation like seniors that need it. But really, some of my buddies that had problems with addiction and then they got into the low income housing, it was a fucking disaster because everyone that they were hanging out with in the low income housing, they were all addicts. So I'm like, really, if you're trying to break an addiction, one of the worst places you'd want to move to is low-income housing. It'd be kind of like if you're trying to get over a porn addiction and then you moved into the Playboy Mansion. It'd be like, hey, maybe this isn't the greatest place to move, right? Not that I can relate to a porn addiction. That must be someone else I'm referring to. It's a fucking virus on my computer, I swear. It's Bill Gates, he didn't stop it. Oh yeah, speaking of viruses, I was joking with my buddy that my old computer had less specs than my new computer, but when I compare things, my old computer just mops the floor with it. It can run, or it can open Facebook 10 times faster, it can open programs way faster. I'm like, what the fuck? My new computer's at least 25% faster. So then I looked into my system resources. I'm like, what the hell is using all my system resources on my new computer? Turns out it's Windows Defender. Windows Defender in Windows 10, guess how much it uses? Anywhere between 25 and 30% of your system resources. Just to stay idle, not even checking anything. I was like, well, no wonder, as my old computer runs Windows 7 and it doesn't get bogged down by Windows Defender, and then it's 30% faster because not all of its RAM is being used up. Yeah, so if anyone's wondering why their fucking computer's running like shit and they're running on Windows 10, just hit Control-Alt-Delete, check the performance, and check out how well Windows Defender is doing for you. And what I find ridiculous is I'm like, alright, I'm just going to remove Windows Defender. It's a fucking built-in feature. You can't remove it from your computer, and you can't turn it off. So you're literally fucking tapping your computer out 30% of its resources some days just to run idle because it has Windows Defender going. I was like, how stupid is that? Like, what happens if someone has a computer that they don't use online? So why the fuck would they even care about viruses because they're not even online? Shouldn't they be allowed to turn it off? No. Bill Gates has it set up that he wants to protect you. That's why I'm very weary about rolling up my sleeve and saying, here, Bill, inject whatever you're up to. Not that I'm against all vaccines. I don't mind the ones that have like 100 years trials of flawless, like, low side effects, but when it comes to state-of-the-art brand new ones, I'm like, oh fuck. I definitely don't want to be the first to try it. Ah, come on. Oh, you son of a... What the fuck, man? They won't give me any A's, and when I do, I just lose anyway, so it's probably good that I got B. It's gonna be failure either way. See, I was gonna pick A first, clicked it, it did nothing, so then I went up and clicked that, and it was fucking horse shit. Oh, there we go. There we go. Enough of the blame game. I'm not the victim anymore. I'm actually gonna watch this one play out, because I want to see what happens in it. See if I have to actually go down a level, or how close it was. There we go, Jane. Heal him up good, as I like to see. It's nice, he can't hit anyone. Dodge is fucking him up. Oh yeah. Keep trying to hit Tengu. Imagine Tengu when he, like, what the players were advising me. Suki, can you imagine, like, I get the ultimate DNA and I can hit the whole team, or at least more people than 2? That would be sweet. Oh yeah, man, was it ever a disastrous policy, one of the lockdown ones they put in my province? They started calling the people up north racist now. And I was like, well, what did you guys think was going to happen with that lockdown rule? They made this rule that if any people came from Toronto that you were allowed to ban them from your store, not let them shop or even eat in your restaurant, sort of like segregation. And I was like, wait a minute, like, how are people going to tell that someone's from another city? And I was like, the only way they could tell is if it was the race thing, right? Like, everyone that lives up north in those small towns, it's everyone's white. So if anyone wasn't white walked in the door, then all of a sudden they would have to do that rule where they'd kick them out, right? And then the people getting kicked out are like, hey, these store owners are kicking us out because we're not white. Well, I was like, well, you fucking made a law about that. It's like, what did you think was going to happen? People are just going to know everyone and be like, oh, this person's not from town. I guess in really small towns that's possible, but I think in most cases they're just like, hey, this person's not white. Obviously they're from Toronto. They're not allowed in the store. That's why I really got sick with those lockdown rules, banning people from big cities. That wasn't right. Like, sure, you can ban people that have traveled from somewhere else or people that are sick, but to just pick on healthy people because they're from a certain city, that's fucking bullshit. It's literally the government turning people against each other, right? So I don't know what's going to happen in that situation. If they're going to keep kicking people out from bigger cities, it's just going to start more accusations of racism. Yeah, and then they were saying too that, was it the white people that live up north were wanting to prevent people from the big cities from moving there? And I definitely can relate to that because I bought property up north a few years ago. And even then, before the lockdown, people were already like a little hesitant. Alright, so we managed to beat 1A. Alright. Like I got my place broken into, they stole all my stuff. And I only left it there for like a couple weeks, so I was like, man, they like targeted me. But then I was like, is this just victimhood? But then when I was there, like a lot of people, well, not, I shouldn't say a lot, but some of the people would like speak other languages like French when you're around so that you can't understand them. And I guess in some cases it actually was people that only spoke French, but I know in some cases it was people that could speak both. And when it came time to negotiate prices and stuff, they would talk behind your back in another language. Like right in front of you too. I was like, what the fuck, right? Like I almost pretended, I was thinking I should pretend and use some of my French that I know and be like, oh, I know how to speak French, and then see if they stop doing that. Sadly, I only know like 2 or 3 words in French, despite like wasting half my life taking French class lessons. Is they tried to force us to learn French, and then that's the whole thing. I don't like to be dominated. Like most men can't stand being dominated. So when someone tells me I have to learn a foreign language, I'm like, fuck you. I'm just going to learn English and fuck your stupid foreign language. But if I wanted to learn it, it was like optional, then I'd be like, all right, let's learn a foreign language. It's nice having this choice. Like, it's the difference between being dominated and not, like having a choice, right? Now, I think I put that in one of my comments on Facebook and it almost got me a strike. But then Facebook sent me a message and say it's okay. We understand some people make mistakes. I'm like, well, what happens if I didn't think it was a mistake? Or it's another one that really pisses people off when I say that the hospitals should hire like fire departments and only hire people that are really healthy and fit to do the job. And then I get a whole bunch of people mad. I'm like, well, duh, that's sexist, or that's being mean to people that are sickly. I'm like, well, what happens when the fire department does it? It's like a fucking emergency job, right? Like, when it comes time to emergency, you can't be fucking nice to everyone. That's when the jackass has to be in charge and say, hey, like, we gotta hire people who can actually do the job. It's happening with the teachers union in my province right now too. They got a lot of really fat old teachers with diabetes, and then they're going on strike saying it's not safe for them to teach and they want the schools shut down. I'm like, no, what you gotta do is fire those people or at least give them time off until the pandemic's over and hire young healthy teachers to replace them. We can't shut down our fucking society because some people aren't fit and healthy enough to do their own job. What kind of society are we living in that that's the case? But no, I feel bad for the people in those positions, but right when you take that job, it should come with a warning saying, hey, there's a fucking pandemic that comes out and you die because you're not healthy, you know the risk. Yeah, it's really sad too, because I got some friends in that situation, and it actually breaks my heart to even say that, but it's fucking true, man. I'm really not in the habit of sugarcoating anything these days, if you could tell. Alright, so we finished the hour mark. I don't want to make this a super long episode. Yesterday was already crazy long. So let's just claim some... Oh yeah, we got enough for 3 draws. Well, and that was the other good news I got. I don't know if you guys got the same thing, but yeah, let's give some flowers out to Tomahawk and to Suki. Fuck, I gotta remember Suki's name better. It's because, I swear it's because she was giving me a whole bunch of different names, or no, wasn't her, it was Ninja, but still I got confused with multiple names. That whole multiple name thing always gets me. Alright, yeah, let's do the claiming in the adventure. Or no, it's a limited thing. Lucky draw. There, memory's working today. Jinxed it. No! Son of a... I was already cheering no because I knew it was coming. They gave me all gold, you bastards. Alright, did we at least put a dent in some of these supplies? Yeah, we got rid of those. We got rid of those. Only 2 more of those. Only 3 more of those. That's why they're giving us so much gold. We're getting right down to the pet soon. Alright, so hopefully tomorrow's episode we'll be able to win a pet. That'd be sweet. I was looking how many pets I got, and I only have 3 pets right now. So I really want more pets. Well, let's do this casino spins while you guys are watching. See if we get Robin. In tights. No! Fucking gold again. Gotta be kidding. Come on, Robin, Robin, Robin. No! Enzymes. Absolute trash. Alright, let's wrap up the show on that note of absolute trash. Alright, today if you want to help out, you can do it Patreon, Society 6, Hideout, Swagbucks, GameKit, and Free Bitcoin. The virtual made sex machine that's for adults and men only, but if ladies need a sex machine, they know who to call. Just kidding, unless you're near Toronto. And if you want to use the show more button, it'll open all these links below and you can get more details on all of them. They're all really cool, except for maybe the virtual mate. We'll see if it actually arrives. I'm a little bit skeptical, but we'll know. Hopefully in a few weeks. Right, and my website, I did some updates to it, and the Patreon, I did some updates to it, finally. Alright, so take care everyone, have a good one, and just, what else was there? If you happen to get any of the pumpkin rewards in your vaporizer and it tastes like shit, give the show a dislike. But if it doesn't, and you can help with a like, I really appreciate it. And just make sure you never buy the products from my sponsor, because it will ruin your life. Bye for now everyone. See you tomorrow. Here's 3 things. See you later.